Matt Milano returning to the Bills' active roster is big news. A year of injuries, and he's finally back. We saw what he can do back in 2022. First-team All-Pro, Pro Bowl, the whole thing. What are your initial thoughts?
He's been missed. You can see it in how the Bills have had to adjust on defense. Having him back is a huge plus for them, especially with the 49ers game coming up.
It's been a long road back from that leg injury. Week 5 last season ended his year right there. And then just when it seemed like he was ready for 2024, he gets the bicep injury before preseason even starts.
That bicep injury was a tough break. Another 12 weeks on the sidelines, over a year since he last played a game. It makes you wonder how much of an impact he can have right away, how long until he's back to his best.
I don't think we'll see him at that 2022 level immediately. But even a partially fit Milano adds something to this defense. What parts of his game do you think will help the Bills the most in the short term?
Milano understands the game on another level. He can read the offense, anticipate plays, react quickly. That's going to be crucial against a team like the 49ers with their complex offensive schemes.
Speaking of the 49ers, they've been a playoff team pretty consistently. 3 appearances in the last 5 years. Back-to-back first-place finishes in the NFC West. Their playoff streak is on the line this week. How much do you think Milano being back changes this matchup?
This is a big game for both teams. The Bills have their own playoff streak going. Shutting down the 49ers offense is key to keeping that alive. Milano could be the difference maker.
Even without Milano, the Bills' defense has been solid. Do you think his return pushes them from good to great?
They've done well, no doubt, but Milano brings that veteran presence, that leadership. He can direct the whole unit, make adjustments on the fly, make sure everyone's where they need to be. That's invaluable.
So he could be the piece that turns them into a truly dominant defense. How do you see him changing their approach on defense, especially against the 49ers?
I think we'll see them be more aggressive, particularly with their pass rush. Milano is a threat to blitz, and that adds a whole new layer for the opposing quarterback to worry about. More pressure, more sacks.
Disrupting the passing game is going to be huge against the 49ers. They love to throw the ball. How do you see Milano contributing to that disruption?
He's got those instincts, that quick reaction time. That's going to be key to countering all the things the 49ers like to do on offense. Pre-snap motion, misdirection, play action. With Milano in the mix, the Bills can be more creative and unpredictable on defense.
Those instincts, that awareness on the field, are going to be crucial for shutting down the 49ers offense.
It's a big boost for the Bills right when they need it. No trades necessary right in the middle of the season against a tough opponent.
Talk about good timing. But is Milano back being enough to guarantee a win for the Bills?
It's a big advantage, don't get me wrong, but the 49ers are a tough team. It's going to come down to how both teams play on the day, but having Milano back definitely tips the scales in the Bills' favor.
What kind of challenges do you think the 49ers might pose to Milano, especially coming back from injury like this?
Well, they're a physical team, especially when it comes to running the ball. That's going to be a test for Milano's physical readiness after so much time off.
It'll be interesting to see how he handles the physicality of the game after being out for so long.
Being medically cleared is one thing, but getting back that game rhythm, that timing, that's another.
This is a big step for him, and we'll be watching closely to see how he performs.
It's important to remember, though, that his impact goes beyond just the stats.
What do you mean by that?
Think about the things he brings that you can't measure. Leadership, work ethic, his influence in the locker room.
You're talking about those things that don't show up in the box score but make a real difference to the team.
Exactly. He is a veteran, a leader who leads by example. His presence gives the whole team a lift.
So his return boosts morale, too. Shows his dedication, his resilience.
It's a message to the younger guys on the team. This is how you handle setbacks, how you stay committed, how you perform at a high level.
It's more than just his skills on the field. He brings a positive influence to the whole team culture.
Absolutely. It's a valuable asset, especially in those tight games where it comes down to mental toughness and teamwork.
It shows you the leadership, experience, the human side of the game. It all matters. Even in a sport that's so focused on stats and physical ability.
It's about looking at the whole picture when you're judging a player's worth. And it's not just about this game, either. His return has implications for the Bills' playoff chances. It raises their ceiling considerably.
The AFC this year is a dogfight. So many good teams, all fighting for those playoff spots. The Bills need any advantage they can get.
And Milano gives them that. Adds depth, adds experience, adds a guy who's proven he can make big plays.
And they were already considered a playoff team without him. So adding him back into the mix, what does that say about their potential?
It pushes their potential even higher. If they were a contender without him, just imagine what they can do with him back in the lineup.
Bills fans have got to be excited about that.
Oh.
Like adding a big piece to an already strong puzzle.
That's a good way to put it. And that piece might be what takes them from a good season to a Super Bowl run.
Let's bring it back to this week's game against the 49ers. How does Milano's return change their game plan on defense?
I expect them to be more aggressive, especially when it comes to rushing the passer.
How come?
Milano's a threat to blitz. That gives the quarterback something else to worry about. More pressure, more chances for sacks.
Right. Disrupts the timing of the passing game, forces the quarterback to make decisions quicker.
Exactly. And against a team like the 49ers, who rely so heavily on their passing attack, that disruption is crucial.
So Milano coming back could be the key to shutting down the 49ers offense.
It's a big factor, no question. It gives the Bills more options, more flexibility on defense.
It seems like Milano's return is more than just a feel-good story.
Yeah.
It actually changes the game for the Bills.
No doubt about it. It changes the game for their defense, and that could change their whole season.
It's almost like getting a mid-season trade without having to give up any players.
It's a huge boost right when they need it most, heading into the toughest part of their schedule.
Couldn't have asked for better timing. Tough opponent in the 49ers. The Bills need everyone they can get.
Couldn't agree more. And having a guy like Milano back gives them an edge they didn't have before.
So we've talked about how his return affects the defense, the playoff race, the 49ers game. What else should we be thinking about when we're talking about Milano being back?
I think it's important to look at what he brings to the team beyond the numbers.
What do you mean?
Think about his leadership, his work ethic, his presence in the locker room. Those things matter.
Those are the things you can't measure, but they make a difference.
Exactly. Milano is a respected veteran. He leads by example. Just having him around lifts the whole team.
So it's a morale boost as well. Shows how dedicated he is, how much he wants to be back.
Absolutely. To come back after a year of fighting injuries, that sends a message.
It does. It shows the younger guys on the team what it takes to overcome setbacks, to stay focused, to play at a high level.
And that kind of leadership can rub off on other players. It can make the whole team stronger, more resilient.
So it's not just about what he does on the field. It's about the positive influence he has on the team's culture.
Exactly. And you can't put a price on that. It's invaluable, especially in those tight games where it comes down to who wants it more, who's going to play as a team.
It's like a hidden weapon, that positive energy.
Yeah.
It helps the whole team perform better.
You got it. And in those close games, that can be the difference between winning and losing.
It's really interesting how one player coming back can affect a team in so many ways.
It is. It shows you how important leadership is, how important experience is, and how important the human element is in a game that's often just about stats and physical ability.
So we've talked a lot about Milano coming back and what it means for the Bills. What's the main thing you want listeners to take away from this?
The main thing is this. Matt Milano's return is huge for the Buffalo Bills. It makes their defense better, it gives them a better chance to make the playoffs, and it brings leadership and experience that you just can't replace.
It's something that could really change the course of their season on and off the field.
No doubt. And it's a storyline worth following as the Bills try to make a run in the playoffs.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything there is to say about Milano's return.
We've gone over the injuries, the recovery, what it means for the team, their playoff chances. I think we've hit all the main points.
It's been a great conversation. I'm sure listeners have a much better understanding now of how important this is.
I hope so. We've tried to look at it from all angles to really show what his comeback means.
And as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about, something that builds on everything we've discussed today.
Sounds interesting. What is it?
We've seen how well the Bills' defense has played, even without Milano. So with him back, what is their ceiling? How good can they be?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll have to watch and see as he gets back into the swing of things.
I think Bills fans are excited to find out, and maybe other teams are a little worried.
I would be. With Milano back, this defense has the potential to be something special.
Well said. It's been great talking about Matt Milano's comeback and what it means for the Buffalo Bills.
It has. It's definitely one of the more interesting stories in the NFL this season.
Makes you wonder just how far this Bills team can go.
It's a story that's still being written. His influence on the team's performance will be a key thing to watch as the season progresses.
Adds another element of excitement to their journey this year. No question about it.
Milano's impact goes beyond what he does individually. It affects the whole team, the whole dynamic.
Reminds us that it's not all about the numbers, right?
It's not. Leadership, experience, the human side of it all, those things matter, especially in a sport that's so often just about stats and physical ability.
His comeback really highlights that, I think.
It shows you that you have to look at the whole picture when you're evaluating a player's contribution to the team.
This has been a really insightful conversation about Matt Milano and his return to the Bills.
We've looked at it from a lot of different angles. His recovery, what it means for the team, their chances in the playoffs.
We've touched on the strategic aspects, the things you can't measure. It's been a great discussion.
I hope our listeners have a better understanding now of what this means for the Bills moving forward.
I think they do. And it's been a pleasure breaking it all down with you.
The feeling is mutual.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.